Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into this fascinating collection of sources detailing journeys across parallel worlds, a brewing spiritual war, and the hunt for two incredibly powerful objects.
Yeah, our focus is really on tracking these two kids, Will and Lyra, who get caught right in the middle of everything.
Our mission is clear. We want to pull out the core information about Will's search for his father, this truth-telling device Lyra has, and, well, this ultimate weapon everyone seems to be after.
It's quite the setup. You have Lyra with her alethiometer, that golden compass thing that tells the truth, and then Will, who's basically just fled his own world.
And their worlds and others are now connected because of this huge tear in the sky Lord Asriel created.
Right, and Will's personal quest, just trying to find his dad, John Perry, it basically catapults him and Lyra right into this massive conflict against the authority, the figurehead of the church across all worlds.
Okay, let's start with Will, though. Before any world hopping, the sources really paint a picture of the pressure he was under.
Oh, absolutely. Taking care of his mother.
No.
It's heartbreaking stuff.
That detail about the makeup, just on one eye sometimes. Or the game they played at the supermarket to hide from enemies only she could see.
It really shows you the years he spent just trying to hold things together, protecting her from threats that, as he slowly realized, were inside her own head.
Which must have made it even harder, right? Trying to manage her reality while living in his.
Totally. So when things finally reach a breaking point, his first thought is getting her safe. He leaves her with Mrs. Cooper, his old piano teacher.
But he has to go back to the house for that green leather writing case.
Yes, the link to his father. It contains the letters, the clues. It's everything he's holding on to about his dad's disappearance.
And that's why the men are waiting for him. They want that case.
Exactly. And this is where it gets brutal. It's not just a robbery. These guys are operatives.
The confrontation on the stairs, it happens so fast in the sources.
It really does. And the cat, Moxie, just appears. Nobody sees her.
She trips the first man.
And Will hears this just hideous crack as the guy's skull hits the table.
And just like that, he's killed someone. He's terrified, grabs the case, and runs.
Utterly haunted by it.
Yeah.
And his escape road, it's almost accidental. Another cat, strangely like Moxie, leads him to this shimmer in the air.
A window. Under a hornbeam tree in Oxford, he steps through.
And finds himself in Cittàgazze, the city of magpies. Looks amazing, right? Sunny by the sea.
But completely empty. Eerily empty.
Beautiful, yeah, but also deeply unsettling. And dangerous, as we find out. This place used to be a major crossroads between worlds.
And this is where he finally meets Lyra.
Who is understandably completely freaked out because Will has no visible demon.
She calls him a night ghast.
I mean, for her, everyone has a demon. Like her own, Pantalaimon, who's always changing shape, rat, stoat, bird.
Right.
Reflects her own changeable nature, I suppose.
So Lyra needs to figure out who this kid is. She uses the alethiometer.
Right. Pulls out the golden compass.
Yeah.
And what does it tell her?
It tells her Will is a murderer.
Which is stunning. But Lyra's reaction, it's not fear.
No, quite the opposite. She sees it as proof he's capable, someone she can trust. Like Eorc Burnison, the armored bear she respects.
It's a really interesting moral perspective, isn't it? In this fight, maybe innocence isn't the highest virtue. Maybe it's about the capacity to act, even when it's difficult or tragic.
So they team up, and Cittàgazze immediately presents its own unique horror, the specters.
Ah, the specters of indifference. Yeah, these are genuinely creepy. They look like mist or just a thickening in the air.
And the key thing is they only attack adults.
Exactly. They feed on consciousness, what Lyra calls dust and what others call shadows. They just drain the life, the interest out of adults, leaving them empty, indifferent.
It's chilling, but the kids there, like Angelica and Paolo, they're fine.
They know they're safe because they ain't grown up, as they put it. And honestly, they seem to kind of enjoy the lack of adult supervision the specters provide. A bit of a Lord of the Flies vibe, maybe.
Which brings us back to that core concept, consciousness.
Yeah.
Dust, shadows. This leads Lyra on a side trip back to Will's Oxford.
Right, where she finds Dr. Mary Malone, a physicist, former nun, who's researching these particles of consciousness she calls shadows.
And Lyra immediately connects it. That's dust. Malone's team had even found something specific, hadn't they?
Yeah, this is wild. They pinpointed a sort of cutoff point in human history, maybe 30, 40,000 years ago, where the human brain suddenly became like the perfect receiver or amplifier for these consciousness particles.
The dawn of modern human consciousness, essentially. Maybe self-awareness, maybe the capacity for, well, the fall in some interpretations.
Precisely. And then Malone uses her supercomputer system, she calls it the cave, to try and communicate with these shadow particles.
They talk back.
They talk back. They tell her they are consciousness, they are structures of dust, of shadow matter, and crucially, they tell her they are angels.
Angels, okay, that's huge. But then they say something even more shocking.
They do. They tell Malone they intervened in human evolution back around that 40,000 year mark, specifically for vengeance.
Vengeance. Against whom? The authority. If angels are seeking vengeance against the supposed creator...
It totally upends the whole hierarchy, doesn't it? The sources imply the authority isn't supreme, just the first, the one who claimed power. These angels, the ones speaking to Malone, seem to be on the side of rebellion.
And they give Malone a job.
They tell her to play the serpent, find Lyra and Will. They say her whole life, even being a nun, then a scientist, has prepared her for this role.
Wow. Okay, so while Malone's having her mind blown, we're also getting intel from the witches and from Lee Scoresby, the aeronaut. They're confirming the scale of Lord Asriel's plan.
Yeah, Asriel's servant Thorold makes it pretty clear. Asriel isn't just fighting the church because it's powerful.
He thinks it's too weak to be worth the fighting. His real target is much bigger.
Monumental. The sources state his goal is to find the authority and kill him. Direct cosmic regicide.
A full-on metaphysical war against the source of control itself.
Meanwhile, the magisterium, the church, is mobilizing against him. And they're desperate to find Lyra. Leading the charge is Mrs. Coulter,
who is depicted as utterly ruthless. We see her torturing a witch for information about Lyra's prophecy.
And Ruta Scotty, the Witch Queen, gives us details about Coulter's methods. She's using these horrifying soldiers, intersize.
What does that mean exactly, intersize?
It means their demons have been surgically severed from them.
So what's the effect of that?
It removes their fear, their conscience, their free will. They become completely obedient, perfect soldiers for an authority that fears independent thought.
Chilling. And Mrs. Coulter personally believes Lyra is a new Eve.
Yes, she's terrified. Lyra will cause another fall, another discovery of knowledge, of independent consciousness. She must be stopped, from Coulter's perspective.
Which brings us back to Will and Lyra. They need to get the alethiometer back. It was stolen by this man, Sir Charles Lotram.
Who, surprise, surprise, turns out to be working with Mrs. Coulter. He even has a hidden serpent demon classic sign of deceit in these narratives.
Lotram offers a trade. The alethiometer for another object.
Something he needs. This leads them to the Torre degli Angeli, the Tower of Angels, in Cittàgazze,
where they find an old man trapped inside, Giacomo Paradisi.
And Paradisi reveals the object Sir Charles wants. The subtle knife, also called Esaher, the last knife ever made.
And this knife, it's incredible. It can cut anything.
Literally anything. Physical matter, sure, but also spirit, energy, even the fabric between worlds. It can open doorways anywhere.
The ultimate multi-tool for dimension hopping? But there's a price.
Always a price. To wield it, Will has to become the knife bearer. And the initiation is brutal. He has to fight Tullio, that kid, Angelica's brother, who'd stolen it.
Will wins, but
in the struggle, the knife itself takes 2 of his fingers, right at the moment he claims it. It demands a sacrifice from its bearer immediately.
So Will is now the knife bearer, wounded but holding this immense power. And just as this happens, Lee Scoresby achieves his goal.
He finds the explorer Stanislaus Grumman, the man he's been searching for.
And Grumman confirms he's John Perry, Will's father, now living as a shaman in this other world. He stumbled through a portal years ago.
It's this incredibly poignant reunion, finally finding him after all this time.
But the timing is just cruel. Perry uses shamanic magic, blood moss, to heal Will's severed hand. He confirms Will is the knife bearer, destined for something huge.
And then Lee, wanting to ensure Lyra's safety, makes Perry swear an oath.
Swear on the most important thing he knows.
Which turns out to be his love for the Witch Queen, Serafina Pacala. He swears he'll protect Lyra.
And that oath seals his fate.
Almost immediately. An arrow flies out of nowhere. Kills him instantly.
Not from an enemy soldier, but from Ruta Scotty. The Witch Queen John Perry didn't name in his oath. She was nearby, heard him pledge his deepest love to another.
And killed him out of jealousy. A cosmic destiny cut short by a very human, very painful emotion. Will finds and loses his father in the space of minutes.
The grief, the rage, Will almost kills Ruta Scotty right there.
And then, in that moment of absolute turmoil, the angels appear.
Not the ones who spoke to Malone, but higher angels. The Benelim.
They declare Will the knife bearer, the wielder of Esaher. They tell him to go to Lord Asriel, join the fight. The universal war is here.
And Lyra?
She's gone, captured. Presumably by Mrs. Coulter. All that's left is the alethiometer lying on the ground.
So that's where we leave them. Will, orphaned again, traumatized, holding this incredibly powerful, dangerous knife. Lyra, the potential new Eve, captive, and these massive armies gathering on all
The
sides.
stakes couldn't be higher. And it all seems to revolve around dust, doesn't it? Consciousness itself.
The Magisterium fears it, wants to suppress it. The specters feed on it. Lord Asriel wants to, what, weaponize it? Liberate it?
Liberate it seems to be the goal. Free conscious beings from the authorities' control. And the prophecy about Lyra? The sources suggest it's not about her fulfilling some set destiny.
It's about ending destiny, allowing for genuine free will.
That seems to be the implication.
Which makes you think.
Go on. Well, if the angels intervened 30 or 40,000 years ago, boosting human consciousness, and if this war against the authority has supposedly happened before, maybe the real battle isn't just armies clashing.
What do you mean?
What if the fundamental conflict is about whether consciousness itself, our curiosity, our ability to choose, to love, even to sin, can actually be controlled? Maybe our very nature is the battleground and potentially the ultimate weapon in this ancient struggle. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?